Hey everyone, Team Ojama here, and now we are discussing everyone's favorite time of year, banlist season.
Yay!
Yay! so,
Yeah.
so we're discussing the list that's going to be effective September 17th.
17th, this Monday.
Eh,
Right.
yeah, and it was kind of just funny when the list came, because everyone kind of assumes the list usually comes in around, it's sometime in the morning or afternoon, usually, around like, because we live in Los Angeles, so we have Pacific time zone, so it's usually like around like 10 to 11 o'clock we usually have a band list. We didn't get a list until like 7 at night. It was just a very odd timing list.
It was very odd timing wise for multiple reasons, actually, other than that. A lot of people were speculating that we'd get the band list a little bit later. We have Columbus. Columbus
We have
YCS?
a 200th YCS at 3 locations.
Yeah, exactly. So people were expecting that a new band list would happen afterwards, since those are major events, you know. But to our everyone's surprise, here we are. We got it. We finally got it.
We finally got it after everyone screaming and
Yeah.
begging for a band list.
Alright, and to go over the band list, what's new is Samsara Lotus is banned.
Oh, that was banned mostly because of an FTK involved with it. There's one guy at my locals have actually used that, and it was just...
Did you keep up with it?
He topped occasionally, but never won. He maybe placed in the top 8 usually, but he didn't consecutively do it.
Yeah.
I've seen it in action. It's extremely annoying if you don't have a hand trap. It's basically not a lose.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like FTKs in general, or something that Konami always keeps their mind on, always keeps their eye on, making sure that it's not a very prominent sort of thing. Like when Monarch FTK was out, Gem Knight FTK was recently hit with a Diamond. Even still a 2-card FTK, but then it dies instantly to any hand trap whatsoever. But and then that's just the thing, is just that FTKs are not in the spirit of the game, they're not good for the game, so we definitely see why.
Of course.
Up next is Nightmare Goblin, the first Link monster to get the ban.
Which, it's well deserved, because everyone was screaming for Firewall to get banned, which, in all honesty, is more so of a culprit for why Goblin got hit. Yes and no. Goblin, by itself, it was a really strong card. Because, I mean, it's an extra normal summon, which some people would say, oh, it's no different than Seraph Knight. But with Seraph Knight, you have to play a 5-card engine main deck in order for it to actually benefit you, and that's still Brick City. Like, if you open multiple Brilliant Fusions, or open the Garnet, or open your other Brilliant Fusion target, it's just instantly dead. But with Nightmare Goblin, it's always live because it's so easy to make. It's 2 monsters, different names.
Yeah.
And plus the anti-targeting aspect of it with co-link monsters made it really difficult to out. Because outing the U-Link board of Goblin, it was extremely difficult because you always have a Tri-Gate and Night with Phoenix and Cerberus, so you can't just throw battle or card effects or be targeted. So it's have fun trying to get rid of that board basically.
Pretty much. I think the targeting is the thing that will be most missed, I guess you could say, because not being able to be destroyed by card effects or not being be able to destroy by battle, you can do something about that. But then anti-targeting, that's a really hard thing to do. That's a really hard out, I guess you could say. There's a reason why Cosmo, they have problem, or they were prominent because they couldn't be targeted, and that really affected the meta at that time. A lot of people were expecting Firewall to get banned, and then if Firewall would not get banned, then Goblin needed to be hit. So it was kind of like a either or, one of those had to go, and I did believe that Goblin would be hit more likely than Firewall
I
was.
agree.
Yeah.
It just made more sense.
Indeed. Moving on, we got MX Saber Invoker, the rank 3, the one that special summons a warrior for free, basically.
Oh yeah, it was kind of a long time coming because everyone was kind of screaming for it to get banned even during Zoo format, just because of Terror Top and this ability of being able to summon any Zoo from deck. But now it's mostly because of Goki's, because it's a free Suprex, and this game of extra resource engrave to get your basically just extra search on top of it for free.
Yeah.
And and even with 6 Samurais, since they've been coming back recently with the number 68, I believe.
68 or 69.
Yeah, the guy that would walk out of the game. The Sufi Invoker, I thought it just made it a little bit easier to accomplish.
I do think it was a warranted hit. It does hurt a lot of casual deck wise. I know a lot of decks that actually utilizes it, but at the same time, it does hit a lot of engines in terms of I know Goki's used to use the Gillosaurus monster to make the rank 3. They could use the Predator plant engine to make it. So there's just a lot of ways to go into MX Saber Invoker. So yeah, it kind of like for the greater good.
For the greater good.
Yes, exactly.
And that is it for the banned stuff. No Spells and Traps got banned, thankfully. Yeah. Now to the limited.
Limited is A Assault Core, ABC.
Is pretty hindered, if not dead. At first I was kind of confused why ABC, like especially Assault Core, was hit, but then after taking a few minutes to think about it, there was an FTK with ABCs using Tuned Cannon Soldier and Firewall with A, and A was the main reason why it was functional. So I understand why they hit A. I mean, it is pretty sad because I actually do like ABCs as a deck. But unfortunately, FTKs, as we just discussed with Lotus, it's not a very good thing to have in the game. So they kind of either had to get rid of Firewall or Cannon Soldier or A, which I mean, it is a way to get rid of it, but it's kind of sad that A is gone. But
yeah, it does kill basically the deck archetype realistically, because that's kind of like the weakness that ABC, the deck as a whole, is that if you hit any of the A monsters, the B monsters, C monsters, or even the Buster Dragon, the deck doesn't really function as well anymore. So it's just kind of like it's an all or nothing package, and unfortunately people utilized it for something that was other than ABC Buster Dragon. So
got it.
It got the X, really. I mean, like, it's still limited. You can still play it.
You can still play it. You just have to be careful.
Yeah.
You just can't play Pot of Desires anymore.
Next up is Elemental Hero Stratos.
The Savior is back. I personally was very surprised about Stratos coming back.
Very.
In all honesty, I was hoping they would come back, same with Construct or stuff like that, but they finally... I honestly think it was also because of the new hero support we just got, maybe to help push the Megatons. Because Stratos is kind of like the chosen of the heroes. It's the myth. And it's such a good card. I mean, it's not hard once per turn to search any hero. Yeah. And then...
Or destroy
spell and trap that doesn't target either, which is really good. Even at 1, though, I mean, I don't see it really causing that much of a big deal. I mean, it's not a very good turn 1 play with heroes at the moment.
Well, with the recent discovery of other heroes basically being better, Vion, just for this example, and Malicious being an engine to getting out monsters for link summoning, being able to search is important, don't get me wrong. It's just that we already have cards in the hero deck that do it. I mean, like, we still have Reinforcement Army at 1, we still have
3
E-Call, we have it's just not, it's super easy to get out as many heroes as you need. So searching for it,
Yeah, I mean, Stratos would be definitely a turn 2 play. I feel like it's definitely a warranted welcome back, but
I am definitely not a hero player. Like, I'm not going to go nuts over that Stratos is back. I was never a hero player, but I know Ojama Black was.
Me and Ojama Yellow are hero players, and we're very happy that it's back, but there's something else that happened in the list that made us kind of sad, but we'll get to that in a second. But
up next on the limited list still is Morphine Jar. It is back from Forbidden.
That was very surprising when I saw that come back. I mean, it's not... At first, I was very scared because this gave me flashbacks of very disgusting things all the jars can do.
Yeah.
And Morphine Jar, I mean, but after thinking about it, there's so many outs to Morphine Jar. Like, you have so many hand traps like Ash Blossom, you have Valor, you have even... You basically have everything in the game to negate that. And I mean, unless you attack it.
Yeah. I mean, like, being a flip monster, that's just it's a natural
slow.
weakness. It's a natural weakness of the deck being so slow. I would like to see people use it. Don't get me wrong. I like to see it make some plays. It's like, oh, Morphine Jar. It's like, discard the hand. Draw more. It's like, sure, I accept it. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see if it does anything. But I don't think it will.
It's just an okay card.
Well, I mean, it does push danger, right?
Yeah, it pushes danger, but
But I don't know if even danger would play it at 1. It's just kind of like, why would you do that? All right, next on the list is Metaphor Electromite, the second card Link monster
ever limited.
Yep.
Which I agree with this hit. Electromite by itself is fine. Just with tandem with multiple Electromites, being able to pop your stuff with like things like Chronograph, it just leads to so many ridiculous plays.
Well, a lot of people have also said that if you touch basically all the other meta deck lists, you have to hit pendulums along
You
with
do,
it.
because pendulums are one of the strongest mechanics, and you can't not touch pendulums at that point.
Exactly.
Especially a card like Electromite.
Exactly. You could still make your turn 1 plays easily with just a single Electromite. It's that your longevity as the deck is hindered because of it, and I think that is fair.
It is fair.
Now that we actually have like more generic link monsters anyway, it means that you just need to replace it, the Metafoe with another generic link monster that fits the deck style.
Yeah.
And that's fair, because then you don't have that advantage that Electromite has given you, at least for a Pendulum deck.
Yeah.
You know? Next up on the list, Cyframe Lord Omega.
This should have happened a long time ago, in my opinion. Omega's always been one of those cards of this hand looping spam, which everyone kind of hated.
Yeah.
And plus, no one likes Cyframes.
Yeah.
And I mean, at 1, I think it's extremely fair. It's a 1-of. I mean, you scare 1 card of your opponent's hand, that's fine. Plus, this for Graveyard Recovery, it's fine. It's just having multiple thrown in is just not fair, especially if like that new junk forward combo people have discovered, using basically easily making 3 Omegas and then maybe even getting more out.
Yeah, there's actually like a full 5-card combo actually with Mermails, because they could use Whale, and then Whale can or Dolphin or Whale, one of them. I think it was Dolphin. But anyway, you could bring it back as a tuner, use it, make a Cypher Lord Omega, and then make a few of those, and then still get into Gumblar.
Okay, that's not fun.
Yeah, and then so it's still it's still a 5-card combo, but then like I see that happen, and it's just like, whoa, no, thank you. All right, so yeah, I think that's a welcome limit on my part. Next up on the limit is Evil Swarm Exiton Knight. It was forbidden.
Yeah, that's a very welcome back. It was reprinted last year's Light's Revenge, which people were surprised it didn't come back immediately after that list, after it was legal, but. I mean, I think it came back most because of the link mechanic, because now, if you even summon it, you're basically just using your extra monster zone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now you're wasting your extra monster zone for extra Knight, which is more fair. I mean, yeah, it's not hard once per turn blowing up the field.
Yeah.
But now going second isn't as bad anymore. You can actually have a somewhat decent play going second now.
Yeah. I do like having... there's a lot of casual decks that utilize the rank 4 engine, and having Exiton Knights available for them, it makes it safe going first, even, because you could just make, if your hand is bad, chances are you could make 1 EXE and then just make an Exiton Knight, you know. Because at least then, like, it's a weak monster, you know, so if your opponent could just battle over it, they still, you know, they lose their battle phase, so you're not going to get it OTK'd at least. Alright, next up on the list is A Hero Lives Limited.
I was very upset when I saw that on the list. I was actually very confused at first, because I didn't understand why it got limited after it got Stratos back.
Of course, the hero player.
Yeah, I know. I know, it's always live. You can get a free Strato Miss, get Mass Change. It's a single card. I know, but after reading about it, and after thinking more about it, and after seeing some plays, like one hero lives equals a U-Lock, because of Goki mostly. Because that equals Vion, which sends Malicious, and you just keep on doing your plays from there, and it's basically U-Lock at that point.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just an extension of everything. The Soul Day leads to the monster, which leads into Summon Sorceress. It's like a Warriors only Needle Fiber, realistically, and that's why like I feel like it was warranted in a way. I know a lot of hero players are very excited to have Stratos back, but then I always make a comment like, it wasn't worth 2 hero lists. Was it worth it?
But you did get free everything.
Yeah, nothing is given freely from Konami, so I hope you guys enjoy your Stratos, because your consistency
has been a hit considerably.
Yeah, considerably. Alright, next up, Card Destruction from Forbidden is not one.
At first I was very excited about this coming back, because I'm an Infernoid player also, and that helps Infernoids considerably, just some consistency issues. But then I was thinking, oh crap, that means Danger is ridiculous now, because Danger now has Card Destruction, which that triggers all of your effects, which is pretty busted.
I mean, like, well, I think it kind of warrants, like, maybe making you think, like, maybe, okay, is it worth like playing the 60 card variant of Danger, for example, playing the left powerful lane, getting the Card of Destruction, and when we evidently get more Danger cards that function the same in terms of discard, you know, you're going to get a whole lot of monsters that trigger all 5 effects on your Card of Destruction, and it's just like it just goes off and off and off and on. We'll see. We don't know what else Danger has in store for us, but like people are kind of half and half on it in terms of they like it and they don't like it, because it kind of foreshadows what the meta is being manipulated into. Yeah. People don't like that. People don't like that a meta is manipulated, especially when we don't even know what's coming up.
Especially if we don't know what danger support we're gonna get.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's okay. I'm on a wait and see attitude. The ban list, this ban list in particular, Konami announced that it actually the next one will come no sooner than November of this year. So it's actually a pretty short format. You know, realistically, I think Konami did that on purpose because there might be other cards that are coming out, or we have a new archetype coming out, guaranteed meta.
Thunder Dragons will be coming out in October, and in fact, because the ban list says November 20th at the earliest, and that'll be 3 days after YCS Pasadena. So if, let's say, I mean, my theory is most likely after Pasadena, if it's really bad, like if it's like let's say like what happened with Spiral last year, if like the majority of the top decks, like almost all of the top decks for Spiral, they'll probably do the same thing in this new emergency ban list.
Yeah, which in reality is not really an emergency because they'll just say
okay, we called it. And
next up is limited is Sky Striker Mecha Hornet drones.
I kind of saw this coming. It's because in a way Sky Striker is very similar to Zoo. It's just an engine that everyone just throw in their deck. I mean, I put in Crusadia just for the extra way to make your links live.
I use it in Noble Knights because it's an extra free monster that I could get into an assault deck, you know.
And yeah, so it was just a good engine to run in a lot of decks, and plus it also hit Trickstar's Sky Striker. Because now, even if one drone, you still have free engage, but now you have to run like worse cards in order for it to be really successful, which I don't really know if it's really worth it at that point.
Well, I mean, like when you take a look at it in terms of how the OCG is, I mean, they had when Hornet Drones was at 3, Sky Strikers was just basically everywhere. It overwhelmed the meta in the OCG. Now it's actually like a decent 30% of the meta, which is fine. That's a fine for a tiered deck, percentage wise,
but not mixed in every deck though.
I don't agree at being mixed in every deck, and then that's with the with the Trick Stars and the Strike Strikers adding into that. It's consistency on top of consistency, so your deck was like just as close to how Zodiac was with a full powered, almost, it was insane. Next up, Super Polymerization.
Another card that really threw me. Like, I was very surprised to see that come off the list, because people in TCG have very mixed feelings about this card.
Yeah.
Because we really don't, like, in TCG as a whole, I've kind of noticed people don't like cards that say you can't respond to things.
Oh, man.
And in Spell Speed 4, so it's like, oh, I get to fusion summon using one of your cards, and you can't respond to it.
It's not even like that. It's not even a Spell Speed 4. It's like a card that goes, like, 95 miles per hour. You're just not going to catch up to that.
I mean, I think it's a welcome comeback, though, mostly because of the extra linking. I think they brought it back. I think one of the main reasons they brought it back is the heroes. But also at the same time, it does help prevent the U-Lock, because if your opponent does open Super Poly, you're basically going to out the U-Lock, which is really nice to have. I mean, plus I welcome it as a hero player, so I can actually use Super Poly.
Yeah, I welcome it in other decks, like Predator Plants, for example. They can actually search it. No, can they?
It has to be a normal.
Normal? Okay.
No, wait. I have a check. I think one of the fusion searches for any fusion.
Yeah, I think so too. But
any polymerization.
Yeah, so I'll have to double check on that. But then, like, it's still useful with a lot of fusion decks. I wonder if it's useful in, like, maybe as a one-of in, Fluffles, maybe?
Maybe Fluffles, or even, Shadows would be happy. Because, they're not really that relevant. I mean, you have one Super Poly, so...
Yeah, I mean, like, I personally would actually like it in, Magician Girls, those kind of things.
Yes,
so it works, in my opinion, and I'm okay with it. I just don't like the fact that it is, a card that goes super fast.
Then you can't negate it.
Yeah, I can't negate it. I can't do anything about it. That's not cool. All right, and that finishes the limited list.
Now for the semis.
Semis. Cosmo Dark Destroyer back at 2.
We can hear Ojama yell screaming from a distance.
Yeah, when we told her, I felt the earth shake.
Because this is one of the cards I remember her saying that she wanted back, even like jokingly saying she wanted back because we didn't think it was going to come back. And now, 2 Dark Destroyer, which I mean, it's a warranted comeback. I don't think Cosmos are really going to do much in this format. I mean, Cosmo Dark Destroyer is a really powerful card. I mean, now they can do the OTK a lot more easier now because they have 2 Dark Destroyer. But again, you still have Ash Blossom. You still have a lot of cards. You have not Call by Grave, but you have Ghost Bell. You have so many ways to negate like the floating. So I mean, I think you can get it back to 3.
And I wouldn't say that it's not competitive. I would say that it's still rogue tier.
It's like rogue status.
Yeah, it's like eligible for rogue status now because having 2 Dark Destroyer and the ability to get into it and having 2 on the board is really scary. That is 6,000 damage that you can't target. You know, and that's really, really strong. I do hope that it does come back. I would like to see it come back into at least Vogue in some way, but time will tell. But I would say I'm 40% sure that it will do something, and 60% that it will not.
Yeah.
So it's highly unlikely, unfortunately. Next up on the list, Called by the Grave at 2.
I was very surprised about this, but it does make sense though. I know a lot of people are upset about Called by the Grave getting hit, but after thinking about it, I mean, the amount of times I've played against a lot of the meta decks like Goki, for example, when you need the hand trap to resolve against a deck, and if that hand trap doesn't go through, they literally win the entire game. So I get why they semi-limited it, because they didn't want these top tier meta decks to just auto win if your hand trap gets negated.
And also on the flip side of it, it's like, this was the card that countered the hand trap, so if you were a combo deck, you needed for your stuff to go off, so it's kind of a catch-22 in a way that, you have hand traps. A lot of players have said that hand traps have ruined the game. Konami has responded to that by saying, okay, here's Called by the Grave, which cancels that out basically, and now they've hit it, and then so you're not going to make every player base happy, unfortunately. And I'm the kind of player that dislikes this hit more than I like it. But I see the reasoning behind it, so I'm not going to say otherwise, or I'm not too negative about it at least. So I still wanted Called by the Grave to be at 3.
I agree. I understand why. I'm not for or against it. More 50-50 on it.
All right. Next on the list, Limiter Removal. It's semi-limited now from Limited.
I think it's whatever. I mean, it's fine. Limiter Removal is kind of gimmicky. It's kind of a win more and gimmicky at this point, because I mean the game has evolved and become so much faster than when gadgets were a thing.
Yeah.
And that's when it was around gadgets. So I mean, it's fine. I mean, Cyber Dragons will probably play it, maybe, but again, in Cyber Dragons you already have so many different ways to OTK, so do you really need it? I mean, it's just, again, it's fine. I don't really see it being much of a problem at the moment.
I don't even think, even if they had the option to, I don't think they have the room.
They
don't have the room to play that.
There's too many cards.
They already have too much cards as it is, and they're getting more, I think.
And they're getting more, so there's no reason to play it at this point.
It does, yeah, as we said, it's kind of overkill in that way, because machine decks that I'm thinking of, Despots, they OTK super fast, Cyber Dragons, OTK super fast. Ancient Gears, OTK super fast. Cosmo, they can OTK super fast. So it's you're really pushing the OTK, but it's kind of overkill already. Limiter Removal was the top deck that you needed to OTK, so having it more consistently, sure, why not? But if you can already OTK with the cards they have available without it,
why would you play it?
Why would you? I don't think it'll make an impact in any way. All right, next up is Scapegoat at 2.
This is the one that was kind of weird to me. I mean, Scapegoat's is a very powerful card, and in all honesty, I think it should be at 1 or banned.
I wouldn't even like it at 1.
Because it's kind of sacky.
Yeah, it turns into kind of like a sacky 1 card. Oh, I can make barrel load. Or, half a U-lock.
Or half a U-lock. Yeah, I mean, And that's where it's kind of an issue. I mean, I get Konami's still trying to help with links considerably, so I mean, I get why they soft hit it, because I mean, and plus it kind of hits Trickstar in a way, because I mean, that was one of the only ways they can really make a decent Borders of Scapegoat.
Very true.
And plus, I mean, I don't know. It's not a strong enough hit in my opinion.
Yeah, I would actually like to see this card banned. I personally would, because Scapegoat is just like one of those cards. It's like, okay, you didn't have the chance to deplete all their life points. You didn't get the chance to win the game. I flip Scapegoat. I do a complete 360 on you, and I basically win. And that's not really that cool. And minusing one card from that doesn't really make that much of a difference, or at least from a consistency point of view.
Yeah.
And the same thing goes with this next card, Terraforming at 2.
Yeah, Terraforming, again, this makes no difference. It's like Upstart. I mean, it's people are still going to play 2. It doesn't really matter. I mean, in all honesty, it should be at 1. It should have been at 1 a long time ago. I mean, I think Scapegoat and Terraforming are on the same page as like Maxi, for example, where it's like, oh, it's at 3, let's put it at 2. Oh wait, let's put it at 1 now. It's like it's going down that path of let's semi it first, see what happens, and then we're gonna limit it afterwards.
I think that will be a very like, I guess, good move on Konami's part, because the next ban list is coming out sooner than most people have expected. So at least this time around. So like gauging how the terraforming affects the meta will be doing so, or is a good idea. But at the same time, it's kind of like, well, we already know what terraforming does in this concept. You know, it increases consistency by having, you know, your field spells being rotas, you know, searchable things, and now you have that searchability.
Thing that other things.
Searches, you know, it's like, it's a chain reaction, and reducing the first line of searchability by 1 card, I don't think it will make that much of a difference. Yeah. But that concludes the semi-limited list. Now what comes off the ban list, which most people don't really care about, honestly. Quillfort Towers.
It's fine. It's affected by Link, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, no one cares. Second, Destiny Hero Disc Commander.
And that's with Fiorata, everybody, so we don't no one freak out that, like, oh my god, Monarchs are back and they can expand that stuff out again.
It's the Rata it really neutered that thing.
It's once per duel, and you can't use it the same turn as Sense of Graveyard, which it's just not very good. It's been neutered, so I mean, it's not even worth. I don't really think it's even worth playing.
Yeah, it is getting errated in the legendary decks that are coming out. So within the next month or so.
Yeah, around the next month or so.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for that.
Anyway,
the next card on the list is Burial from a Different Dimension. I like this.
Yeah, it helps zombie decks considerably.
I mean, like, even then, like, most people didn't even play it at 3. Like, I bet if they could play it at 3, they wouldn't. Because it's like if you draw multiple of it, it's like, what are you really going to do?
I'll play like 1.
Yeah, but it does help a lot of, like, banished decks in particular. Like, I would actually think that maybe even Trickstars could play that one of, but then it's like, whatever. Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, like, I like this for casual reasons, not really from the competitive environment. It will do nothing. It won't change a thing. But yeah, as a casual player, I like it. The final card of this ban list is Ring of Destruction, back at 3.
That's fine. I mean, it's a very slow card at this point. I mean, traps are extremely slow now. I mean, maybe pure Trickstar players will play it at 3, or like burn decks will play it at 3. But I mean,
like even at 2, they didn't play it.
They didn't play
it's like,
so
why would you do that? You know, so yeah, back at 3. Don't care. No, not really. Not for or against it. It comes back. Sure, why not? More room on the ban list for more stuff. Alright, so, Ojama Black, what do you think about this ban list as a whole?
I think it's pretty good as a whole. I mean, there's some minor things I wish they kind of brought back or might have touched a little bit harsher. I mean, I get it that he probably didn't want to hit like decks too harshly, quote unquote. Like, for example, I mean, is the Trickstar player saying this? Maybe semi-limit Reincarnation. And I actually was very surprised that Reincarnation did not get hit on this. Yeah. And I mean,
a lot of people were actually expecting that.
And yeah, or even Draco's maybe getting like Demise, or maybe something like Diagram getting hit or something like that. So I mean, there's very odd. I mean, I get it, we're probably gonna get a list in the next few months from now. So I mean, it's a pretty fast turnover. Yeah. But I'm just surprised about some of the things they didn't touch. And also, like, some things that could come off, like, why is Hornet and, not, Inzektor Hornet, and Dragonfly still at 1? They should probably come back.
I think that complies with a lot of things.
Yeah,
like,
it's. I mean, I feel like that's what a lot of this list did, though. Was okay. We need a clear room. We need a clear room, guys. So he unlimited a lot of stuff, or like took things off the list, or like semi-limited, or just move things around us and make more room in Forbidden's area. To be honest.
Yeah, like I like this ban list a lot because while at the moment there's no deck within the next month or so that will become meta, at least it hasn't. We do have one up in the Rising with Thunder Dragons, but at the same time, in my opinion, I think it's a good list because it leaves a lot of decks from this previous format still completely viable. Altergeist is not hit, Trickstars were not hit, Gokis were lightly hit, so chances are we will probably not see them as often, or at least hopefully not.
Hopefully not as often.
I mean, like, the hit to Invoker really hurts their consistency because they can no longer play certain engines that accelerated it. They don't have Nightmare Goblin, which is another heavy extender. They still have Firewall, sure, but then it's like they need to be a little bit more creative now. And right now, or tomorrow, there'll be a San Diego Regional, and at least in this. Yeah. So we'll see how that formulates because we already know that the ban list is not in effect yet. So we'll see a big Goki turnout, of course. And
then everyone will figure out something new for a 200th.
Exactly. But yeah, I do wish that more cards were coming off the ban list, considering how, I guess, delayed it was in comparison, because a lot of people were expecting the ban list sooner. But I'm happy with this. I'm happy with the decks that were hit. I am happy with the decks that were not hit, and I am happy with the cards that were shifted around a bit, just to give them a chance. And I feel like Konami needs to do more of these kind of experiments. You know, putting Super Poly back to 1. I do not know if it'll stay that way, but then if it has only a little impact, sure, keep it. That's fine. I mean, you know, like those kind of cards are perfectly fine for the format. And that concludes the ban list video. Alright, guys, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned because the fun is just getting started.